I remember that 2 weeks before this school year ended, and finally we were gonna be free for 2 whole months that I could spend refining my mindsets and becoming a better teacher overall for my clan. I was looking through my grades and I found out that I still had a few subjects that I needed to repair in order to get a better grade. But that was no big deal, apart from the fact that I still needed to get one more grade from history, because we needed to have 3 grades at the minimum, and I only had two of them, meaning that there was just one option. I had to get induced in front of the entire class, and I would have to talk over there for like 10 whole minutes. And of course, there's nothing wrong with that. Like the teacher has high standards and everything, and I respect that, of course. However, she was the kind of teacher that would just let you talk, and even after you talked for like 10 whole minutes, she would still even give you some questions to answer. Which of course, there's still nothing wrong with that, like I'm saying, but I would needed to use so much effort. But luckily, history is one of my hobbies that I like to research in my free time. Like I like to watch what if alternate history scenarios and just history videos in general. I also like to read his historical books about famous figures. So of course I would have this in the back. And so I just naturally started to prepare myself for the success. I started to cultivate it within when suddenly a golden opportunity presented in front of us. You see, we had this like day where we had to create like presentations. It was basically like a course about creating presentations. And one of the assignments that we had over there was to pick one subject out of like 20 different subjects for history and make a presentation about it, like a PowerPoint presentation about it, right? And those who would create that presentation and send it over to the teacher would get a free grade. There it was. And just like that, that day, I came over to my house and I literally finished that presentation within an hour. And later that day, the teacher even commented back. She sent me a message back. She replied to me saying, "Thank you so much, TR. Here's your grade." And I got an A, and I didn't have to worry about history for the rest of the school year. It was literally that easy. It was It couldn't have been even easier than that. All I had to do was just cultivate the feeling within that I already had, that I didn't need to work for it anymore. And it worked. I started to think the thoughts and feel the emotions that I would feel upon attaining that reality. And then the perfect golden opportunity presented itself literally in front of me as I was just existing over there. And all I did was just follow my intuition and take it. I mean, I didn't really have an option since it was a mandatory presentation that we had to make, but you understand what I'm trying to say. The presentation came nonetheless. And even if I was in the stressful state that I needed to get induced, I would have probably done something very stupid like followed my anxiety intuition, and I would have probably went over to the teacher the next day and I would have, gotten like a C or a D probably, or a B if I'm being honest. But you understand. This was just such an easier option, and all I did was just follow my intuition and wait for it, whilst I was subconsciously focusing on the fact that I had the A already, and I was already taken care of when it came to history and on my report card. And yeah, the outer world doesn't deserve your emotional dependence. It really doesn't. I mean, whether you want to look at this from a scientific point of view, that we can only see 0.0035% of reality, like, through our eyes, and only our eyes, they take signals to the brain, electromagnetic signals to the brain, and then your brain just creates an image of what it thinks it is seeing. And all of this is just based on a fracture of the refraction process, which says that, light bounces off of visible surfaces and then it hits your retina, and you understand. And this also applies to all four other of your physical senses, where that is hear, touch, smell, taste. Your your brain is only getting limited information, meaning that, especially in hearing, it is heavily filling in the gaps. And that's crazy, right? So not only is your view of reality distorted. When you also combine this with the fact, and in the Hermetic philosophy, when you look at that, that the first Hermetic law of the universe says that the universe is entirely mental, and the Bible even backs this up, on earth as it is in heaven. Heaven being a peaceful state of mind, where you already feel like you have that desired reality that you wish for, esoterically speaking, of course. You get a pretty funny paradox if you think about it. Your mind has been controlling your reality for all this time. It has been attracting things into your life that are corresponding with your beliefs, thoughts, identities, emotions that you feel about the world, and you think that it is some kind of an external causality, when no, your mind is the highest order of priority in the universe, and you should treasure it like there is no tomorrow whatsoever. Meaning that if you wish to truly get anything in this life, you shouldn't create, like it is said in the Bible, false gods. False gods means that you get your emotional dependence and that you basically get your emotions from some kind of an external source. But you need to realize that you are the shiniest object in the entire universe. It all starts with you. Why do you think that always in the movies they always come to the main character to get their soul? Because you are the shiniest object in the universe. I'm repeating myself because it is the truth. Your mind creates your reality, quite literally. And of course, it is your subconscious mind, to be more specific, but you understand. You only need to get whatever it is that you wish to get, whether that is a certain financial goal, whether that is a relationship, like a romantic one, or just, like normal brotherhood or whatever, whether that is health or anything. You need to realize that your physical reality that you see in front of yourself is nothing but a one-on-one copy. It is quite literally like a mirror view of what it is that you hold within your subconscious mind. And so if you let the outer world, the one that is already limited, because the universe is nothing but a collection of laws, and one of the laws is the law of rhythm, meaning that everything that has a swing has an equal and opposite strong swing, meaning that on one hand, reality can get you cast up. You can feel amazing, but then it is like, oh, now I want some negative energy, and then whoosh, and everything is fucked up. So if you let this physical reality, that is the that is the reality of limitations, the reality that never lasts, the reality that is finite, your instead of getting your emotional dependence from what is actually infinite, which is your mind, your soul, the aspect of the infinite within you, of our creator, which is your imagination, then you'll be in for a hard time. Because if you just start to cultivate that feeling within, if you start to think those thoughts, those beliefs that you hold about the world, those identities, and you start to emotionally charge them with the right emotions that you would feel upon seeing that result, upon attaining that reality, then that will get attracted into your life. I mean, it just got to me right now that in the Hindu traditions, they call the physical reality what you can see in front of yourself, the world of Maya, right? And that makes sense because we as human beings, we exist on three planes of existence: mental, spiritual, and physical. And what you need to do is successfully align yourself on the mental and on the spiritual plane. On the mental one, you do it by thinking the right thoughts, beliefs, identities. On the spiritual plane, you do it by feeling the right feelings that you would feel upon attaining that desired reality, whether that is peace, joy, love, enlightenment, whatever. Basically, some kind of a high vibratory emotion that you can feel, even right now. You just need to stimulate and believe that you are feeling that feeling right now. And that is a bar. Write that down. And when I say feeling, I don't just mean like an emotion. I also mean the feeling of naturalness. So, like, after you find out that feeling that you wish to feel, that is separating you from your desired reality, and you close in that gap because you've cultivated that feeling with those thoughts within so much, that it just feels natural to you, like breathing. That also is what I mean by feeling. The point of naturalness. Like, of course, you're not standing there being like, "Oh, I'm so glad that next breath came. I'm so grateful that next breath came." No, you're taking for granted that you're breathing right now. It's the most vital function of your human body, basically, that we do both consciously and unconsciously. And you're taking it for granted. The same way you need to take granted your desired reality is the same way that you take breathing for granted. And you do that by quite literally cultivating that feeling that you would feel upon attaining your desired reality within right now. Because if you wait for the world to prove it to you, it will never. Because reality, the physical reality that we see in front of ourselves, is created from our mind. And you need to discipline yourself to see that. You need to create small experiments, like you need to, for example, do the ladder experiment, which is an experiment where you basically go into a meditative state and you climb a ladder for like 10 minutes straight. You basically just imagine yourself climbing a ladder and you imagine the two poles and the joints that connect them between, and you just climb. And after like 10 minutes or whatever, however long it hel- it requires you for you to get relaxed and to completely feel yourself on the ladder, you will start to see ladders in your life way more often. Like, I went from someone that was seeing like probably 3 ladders every single day to like 100. And that is not an exaggeration. It is literally that easy. You just need to cultivate it within. No matter what the physical reality tells you, no matter the life tests that life throws at you, no matter what the people tell you that it is unrealistic, that, how can you believe in it if you can't see it? And yeah, we've already debunked that. So you should have genuinely no excuse with this. But of course, no pressure. By the way, if you want to supercharge your progress with manifestation, with self mastery, with stoicism, discipline, willpower, productivity, resiliency, and all of these wonderful skills that every single man and woman, in fact, should have, then you can check out my Timeless Reader's Mindsets in the description. It is a collection of 24 unbreakable mindsets that, if you apply them to your day to day life, you will be genuinely like a new human being every single week. They will quite literally revolutionize your way of thinking, and you will be unstoppable if you just apply them day to day, day to day. But no pressure, of course, like I already said. Thank you very much for watching this video, and remember, no one is better at being you